What I can say to the people that are looking at this video from Germany, we are really so grateful. Have sex with every person that comes, as long as they can give them some money so that they can buy some food or stock some food. And before you realize, you've gotten infected already. I cannot change the world as a person, but I can change the world for one person. Because someone changed my world. My world was at the streets, For the people that have mistrust or lack confidence in us, I welcome you to not lend us your money now. Lend us your heart. Lend us your mind. Because I was once helped, I was once supported. My coming out to support these other helpless kids is because I was once helpless.
Hey Nicholas, you're the founder of Sounds of Hope in Uganda.
Yes.
And I'm glad that we're sitting here together.
Well,
maybe you can talk to the people, tell the people what you are doing here and why you're doing it. What was your reason to do it?
Well, I'm so glad to be talking to you today about this organization that started about now 7 years ago.
Okay.
We really have had so many years of struggle, going through so many things that have been a big trials and tests and challenges towards this organization.
Okay.
Especially our activities are in relation with humanitarianism, and we are in line with empowerment of single mothers and also helpless children, especially the orphans and then the abandoned kids, and all these children at risk of not attaining an education or not living a decent life due to many circumstances of life. We are also working with the youth through various projects that have been introduced over the years. Especially what brings us together is the project to do with youth, the Youth at Connect project, whereby we engage the flow of to stop the spread of the infectious diseases. Like we majorly look at reducing the spread of, let's say, HIV/AIDS towards from one youth to another. Because in the recent years we have seen many people of young age that have been losing life due to this epidemic, and we really thought in our hearts we needed to do something about this. How we really can have this stop, it is something that we also don't know about, but what we really think about is to reduce the spread, because this epidemic has been such a very great disaster for our nation, Uganda, in general, because in most places where I have been to in Uganda, I have found many helpless kids on streets due to this, due to loss of parents, and most have lost parents to this epidemic. Others have lost their parents due to some other tragic incidents. Let's say the reckless driving of people on the roadside. Maybe some people that drive when they are drunk. They also cause some accidents by the roadside, and then you find
traffic is crazy here.
Yes, you find the people who have lost lives, and then the loss of life of one person means a very disastrous life to so many other kids that these people are responsible about. Our engagement into lives of these kids has really found out that in absence of an organization like this, a lot of kids, a lot of children would be lying into streets, like those that we have given chance to attain education from our school. right now they would be at streets, and right now others they would be in sugarcane plantations, in some other activities that are not productive. But our introduction of our organization over the years has seen a change in lives of these kids, and we are so grateful that we have now some children that have joined the secondary education. We started with these kids when they were, some were not in class, some had started and failed around primary 2 class. This is one of the lowest levels of primary education in Uganda. And then we started these that are now secondary, we started with them when they were in primary 2, primary 1, primary 2. And then we have been with them over the years. Now they have gone to another level of education, that is the secondary level. Yes. We are also doing an empowerment project with women in Uganda. This has just started about this year, but we are looking at it as something that is really a treasure, you know, for our dear women and single mothers that are going through such a very, very tough time. With this project, we make necklaces, and we call it the Ugandan Queen project. This project for Ugandan Queen is about trying to improve the lives of these dear women by having them produce something that can be sold, and they can also get something, some money in return. So in this, we don't look at just a handout for free. We look at exchanging something, and then maybe an interested person that can buy will exchange money with us after we have given them something. In this way, we attach value. We attach value to the money someone is giving us, and then this money goes to the pockets of this dear woman for her own survival. Because most of these single women and these youth girls do not have any kind of income or any kind of support to have them facilitated through their lives. You know the needs with a person will never cease, will never end. Every day they will need something to eat. And then it has been that in the previous they have been going for days without finding something to eat. And then some women have to go through so much, like obtaining so many debts from shops, various shops, the retailer shops, and then you find that they cannot do that anymore because they have this around them everywhere. But when they do this, and then we sell this necklace like to someone that can buy it and they wear it, this person will look good after wearing the necklace, but still will be supporting a Ugandan single mother to feed these children. You know, we are also doing this other project. It was also started this year. It's about the sanitary making pads, making sanitary pads for the young girls and for the older women that cannot afford to buy synthetic sanitary pads. We have this started because we really feel it's not a choice for someone to go into the menstruation, but yet it's a choice for some people to do sex. And now for us to at least stand with a person that doesn't have support to buy synthetic sanitary pads, we came up with an idea to make the reusable sanitary pads at our own children home, and then we do the distribution of the sanitary pads to these girls that have no support for them to buy the synthetic sanitary pads. You know, in Uganda, synthetic sanitary pads are expensive to buy. It's one packet goes for $1, and then for 1 month, a girl would need about, let's say, 8 packets of this, and this will mean $8.
And just that the people understand, how much does a human being earn here in Uganda for a living?
In Uganda,
so that they can imagine how much
Uganda, it is. In Uganda, a person that is working like in an office, or is a person that earns some money. We can talk about let's say $200, yes, $100, 150. Now that's a middle class kind of a person getting this money. But again, the biggest percentage of people in Uganda that we are really extending support to live on less than $1 a day.
Less than $1 a day.
Yes,
and they need $8 just for this sanitary pads.
Yes, for the sanitary. This means a month will end when this person has not been able to raise $30. Yes, because this is the biggest population of Uganda, and these are the people that we are so much in touch with. These that fail to go, these that fail to obtain even a meal, those that go without a meal a day. This is where our interest is. These people really cannot even afford to obtain meals for some days, so it is really hard for them to obtain $8 for them to purchase sanitary pads. That's going to take them for 1 month, and then they will do that for the next month, and then for the next month. You know, this comes every aftermath for the women and for the young girls. For the young girls that are starting. So these women have been finding themselves in a lot of trouble, you know, especially the young girls. They have been found into situations whereby they start selling off their bodies to some boys, some young let's say these guys that sell flatbread. Flatbread in Uganda is called chapati. So these people do not earn so much, but when they find these girls in this desperate state, they try to pretend as if they are going to help them with something, and they later use them sexually. And sometimes perhaps they make them pregnant, and after they've made them pregnant, they disappear. They don't appear anywhere, and then the responsibility and all this struggle is faced by this young girl, who is at the very same time resented by the family, because here when a child gets pregnant, like a young girl, the family disowns this person. They look at this person as someone who is already mature, that can have his own life, his own home, and yet she has nowhere to go. The person responsible for the pregnancy has already disappeared in the air. You cannot trace him anywhere. And then this girl will go through a lot of struggle. A lot of struggle. We find some have lost lives in this process. So this all comes to most girls that I've interacted with due to the failure for them to obtain these sanitary pads. And then, you know, they end up into relationships that really cause a very, very great disaster to their lives. And then for us to try to do a way to reduce onto this, we have come up with this idea, you know, to be giving out these sanitary pads for free to these people. So, you know, a reusable product this sanitary pads is reusable because it's made out of fabrics. So it can be used for let's say 5 or 6 months. So we are trying to look at this as a way of trying to reduce the lack, because if they cannot manage to buy the synthetic sanitary pads at that moment, they will be having at least a pack of a reusable sanitary pad, which they can just wash and then use it and then go through this period safely. This project will look at it as something that is really constructive towards the education of our young girls, because even these kids that go to school have been really missing coming to school.
Because they got the period,
when they get into periods and they don't have the sanitary pads, you know, it is really, really very, very it makes them lose confidence, and the blood is coming out. So they cannot sit in class. You sit in class, by the time you stand, the dress, the skirt or the dress somewhere down is having some red marks. So they will miss class for 5 days. And then for us also to try to help them, to empower their coming to school so that they may study, we provide these sanitary pads to them. Right now we are doing it at a very, very smaller scale, but we are looking at it to rise a bit so that we can accommodate most of the people that are in need, especially for their health. Yes. So we do this. When we do this, we are saving our young girls of so many other disastrous lives. For instance, we are saving them of going into relationships with some going to relationships with old men that are even infected, and they try to infect them with these other infectious diseases. So but they do that in search of some money for them to procure sanitary pads and maybe to live, for them to find something to eat. Yes, but when we get involved in this and we get engaged in this, and as Sounds of Hope, we are really giving a chance to these young girls and to also these other women who cannot afford the synthetic sanitary napkins. Because the biggest population of Uganda, the biggest population of the people in the rural areas live at less than $1 a day, and then this becomes hard for them to obtain, most especially the girls. And the girls are very, very at a big disadvantage in Uganda because most families do not regard them as so beneficial or important towards the success of these families, but they look at them as people that are going to create an empire of success in someone's home. So in that process, they end up being treated as if they are products that you can give away, and only when you want to get money. They are denied the education at most cases. They are denied most of the things, most of their privileges as humans have been abused. Abused. And you find that some girls are forced to get married at a very, very tender age because some family members, some family leaders wanted dowry price. And you also find that in the incident of, in the cases of when a person has passed on, let's say a parent of the certain family passes on, and this person only had girls as children, you find that the property is taken away by the relatives of the father of the husband who passed away, and these girls are not given anything because they look at them as people who will get married off. They go somewhere and then they will have all this property transferred with them, and then for them they have to they call it in the local sense, they call it trying to protect property of the deceased to keep it in the family. But in that sense, they chase away, they try to eliminate the girls because this person never had any boy.
Oh my goodness.
So this happens, and this really makes these young girls stay at a very, very big risk.
Yes. And you also got this project, like you give condoms away.
Yes. Now this the condom project. It's actually called, it's done under our Youth at 180 project. This is about controlling the spread, the spread of infectious diseases. We try to control the rate at which this infection is rising among the youth. Because these youth mostly are the people that hold, we look at them as the people that hold the future to the nation Uganda. We have 70% a youth population out of the 45 million people that we have in Uganda, and these at a very, very big risk of getting infected of these sexually infectious diseases. Our condom giving project has been going on now for about 2 months, and we are so glad that we are trying to save lives. Through this project, I want to let you know that we are working with these young girls, and these young girls are helping in the dissemination and giving out of these condoms to various girls of their same age and women of their same age. You know, in Uganda, it's immoral for someone to go to a shop and ask for a condom. They look at you as someone who is morally not upright. But still, it does not take away the fact that people do have unprotected sex every time. We have been trying to preach the gospel of abstinence for so long time. We have told many people to abstain, but in actual sense, we find out they do these things every day. Because how do we find out? The rate at which young girls get pregnant is really increasing, and really we cannot believe they get so pregnant by the by not having sex. Of course, they really have to have sex first and then they get pregnant. So if we speak about abstinence, it really doesn't make sense in the ears of these young girls because they have their own needs. But when we try to tell them, you know, it's fine to have sex, but do it in a safe way, then this way they can pick up our call. Because the few months that we have been giving away these condoms, the rate at which they have been consumed is really, really unbelievable. And yet, we really thought that in the previous, these people were not doing these things, they were not having sex. And when we introduced the project, then we were trying to extend these condoms, making condoms available to these young girls. Boxes of condoms have been utilized in just a very, very short time. So this means when we give condoms to the girls as our approach, because for the man it is really, really not easy for us to share condoms with men. Yes, because for them they will prove not to be doing sex anywhere. But when we give condoms to the girls, they do have condoms with these, they do have sex with the girls. So when we give condoms to the girls will have condoms in the time of sex. So in case the man says I don't have condoms, the girl will present the condoms. And in that case we will save the life of the girl, and we will as well save the life of the man in a certain way. If the man is infected in that sense and would want to ruin the life of this, the future life of this girl by infecting her, then that would be a stoppage because the girl would be having the condoms already.
And would you say it is like the girls who have sex with men, is it like they want to have it, or most of the girls sell their bodies because they are so poor? What do you think, how, when we talk of 100%, you know, how much are selling their bodies and how much really want to have sex because it's their friend or boyfriend, man?
Now, when I speak about having girls having sex with the man, it's not because they want it. The biggest percentage of people in Uganda that do this, it's because they want to survive. They have failed to find themselves an employment. They don't have a job, and there is no way they can have money. They don't have a skill that can have them sustain their own lives. Most especially the young girls that I am engaged to, that I am having into different meetings when we meet for our youth at 1-8 and then the Youth Connect project. These girls are really, really out of support for them to survive. You find that they go nights without food. This situation of living without something to eat is very, very terrible for someone in Uganda. You know, they have two serious things in Uganda for a person: the food for the person to eat and the place for this person to sleep. These girls go without these. In most cases, you find 5 girls are sleeping in one single room. 5 girls try to combine themselves to solicit money for them to find where to sleep and for them to find what to eat. So, due to the absence of what to eat, these girls end up going into multiple relationships. You find they will have sex with every person that comes, as long as they can give them some money. so that they can buy some food or stock some food that can last them a month. This has really been the major drive towards us to try to enforce safety into sex intercourse for these young girls, to reduce the rate at which they are getting infected from these kinds of sexually infectious diseases, and also to reduce unwanted pregnancies, because these girls, most of them, when they get into these actions of sex, men would want it so much to do it live sex with them, because I don't really know why, but they have a perception that the other kind of sex is more enjoyable than the one with a condom, so they try to take it through that way and lie them that they will give them money and they will give them a facilitation, and yet in actual sense they are not going to do anything like that. After they do have sex with them, they run away, they disappear, they switch off their phones and you cannot trace them from anywhere. Yes, but the very very biggest problem is the survival. It's the survival. These girls cannot find something to eat. If you have stayed without eating for 3 days or for 2 days, how really that feels for you, and then someone says, I'm going to give you $2 or $5, and we just have sex for 30 minutes, and then I'll give you $5. This person will appear to be someone who is a saver of the situation at that very moment, and before you realize, you've gotten infected already. You've gotten infected of a disease that is really deadly, and you cannot cure it. Like, for instance, HIV/AIDS in Uganda, it's really even hard to access the retroviral drugs, because these are only served at certain points. There are very many areas in Uganda where they have never seen the retroviral drugs, and these areas have people that are suffering from this epidemic, and this is why the rate at which young people have been dying to HIV has been really so high. And I really also find this as one of the drivers towards towards reducing and controlling this virus. Majorly, this virus has become a very big threat to the health of young girls. And we cannot stop them from having sex, because we cannot give them all the needs that they do have. Because you will think about something to eat, but when someone is out of food and is out of sanitary pads, they have periodic needs. So you really can't be you can't be so much of a person that can be able to do away with their needs. But what we can do is to try, in case they have it, because we know they will have sex. We know. When they have a match, we say, please abstain, please do this. They will do it. They will have sex behind us. But the only way we can try to have them have their lives safe is by giving out these condoms to them, making these condoms accessible to them. And that is the only way we are doing that. Yes.
Can you tell us more about the school of the children? How many kids are there, and also at the home? How are they living? How many people in one room? What are the needs of these kids? Where do you find them? Let us know more about this major I think this can we say it's your major project?
Yes. It's the major project.
Tell us everything.
It's the start of everything.
Tell us everything what you can tell us about this project.
Oh, all right. Yes. Now, talking about Sounds of Hope Ministries International, I will not go without speaking about the children and the kids' school. The children have been the start of this ministry, because before at its inception, our vision was to render assistance to the children that were at the streets of Kampala, those that were going through tough days, trying to beg for something to eat. And then our idea was to try give them an education, so that in turn they can find their own, they can try to sustain their own selves. But we found out this was something that we couldn't do when we don't have a place where they stay, because these kids would be coming from various caves and from various trenches in the streets of Kampala, and then we had to find a secure place for these kids to stay. Yes, years ago we started this up, and then we had these kids put into various schools before the setup of our children's school. These kids had to go into different schools, but at that very point, education became very expensive because of the so many requirements that we were supposed to pay at different schools for these children to study. Now these expenses that we were incurring were so huge, and we could not meet them. So we actually came up with a resolution that I discussed with a team that we work with from Uganda, and we had to pray about this, how we can have our school started up, so that this school, the money and expenses we incur in giving up to school fees, we just divert it to be paying to some people to help us teach these children. And then we found out ourselves that we had two major needs for us to set up a school. The first major need was for us to find a place where we shall have classrooms from, the operation space, and to also find teachers and a remuneration or a payment for the teachers. Because when you have a school, you will definitely need teachers. And when you need when you have teachers, you will definitely need to pay the teachers for them to be able to extend this service to these kids, because for them, they of course they don't mind if you are doing it for free. Kids are studying for free, but for them still they will need a remuneration for them to run their families and them to fulfill their other responsibilities. So we looked for places to start a school in Kampala, and these places were very, very expensive for us at that time. We did not have this money to start up a school in Kampala, so we extended our move outside of Kampala into another district called Buyikwe district, where we found some buildings. These buildings had a school that had failed about 4 years ago, and there was really a very big need for a school in this place. So the introduction of our school in this place, we were in relation with a certain church pastor that introduced us to the landlords of the buildings around, and then we negotiated the prices of these buildings. At that very time, we got into agreements with the landlords of these buildings, and we received these at a very favorable rate, because they actually, one building, when we were starting the school, one building was given to us for free to operate for 6 months. This very bigger block was given to us to operate a school there 6 months for free. That is in the last year, because we have been operating a school now 2 years. Yes, in our very first year we had 6 months free for as an attraction for us to bring in a school. This gave us a very, very big push, and boost into us setting up a school here. So the next thing was trying to find people that can help us teach. Of course, we need to find people that have these education documents according to the regulation of schools. You have to have teachers that have qualifications to teach. Like for the nursery section, you need to have teachers that have early child development skills. And then we had to locate these people, and then for them to start up giving education to these young girls. To these young kids that we had obtained from Kampala, from the streets of Kampala and the surrounding communities. So we were already into this, and we were now the parents of these kids. So we before we realized we were in so many responsibilities, we need to find another rental house, because they could not come from Kampala to come to Lugazi and study from Lugazi. It's a very, very big distance. So we had to find another rental house in Chitega village, where we had obtained the space for the school to be put. So we rented this house as well. when we were renting this place, we got in touch with the exact owner of the home, and he accepted us to have our kids in this place and to start up our school in the nearby place, because this was looked at as a benefit to the community as well. The kids from the community that were not attaining education, had received a chance, because they had to find out this is a school for a humanitarian organization, people that are trying to extend a hand of support to the community. Then they welcomed the idea, and then that's when we came to learn about these other helpless children that were living within the community, that had been abandoned by the parents, that have been neglected due to gender, and those that have been neglected by people, by fathers saying, me, I don't produce, me, I am sterile, but then after they had made already someone pregnant, but when they want to run away from responsibility, they try to bring in a reasoning. They say, for us, we don't make someone pregnant on a certain day. They say I have been sleeping with you only on weekends. For us, we don't make someone pregnant on weekends. Something to make them excused to run away from the responsibility of being a father. So we found out the community also had a number of children that were really not having a very chance to attain education. And this, when we started up, we opened up our doors to giving education even to the community members. Yes, we've had we've had an influx of children, and what has limited our operation as a school in this place has been the availability of the desks. For us to operate a school, children need to sit at a desk and they write as they look at the blackboard. Now the size of the desks that we have at our school is very, very less compared to the number of kids that we had. At our inception as a school in Chitega, we had around 35 kids that we started with this school. But right now, our services of education that we extend to the helpless kids, it's taking care of over 100 children.
In this small school that I saw?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's over 100 kids. Okay. And then if in case we had more desks, and then this would be over 200, because we had to stop some kids by saying to them, please, we are not having enough resources to accommodate your stay at this school, because at the very first time, kids were sitting on the floor. They were sitting on the floor and writing from a bench. You see, by that time, we had very, very many problems with the municipality officers. They used to come to our school, and every time they would want us to give them money, they would, the government also tries to put in restrictions to people that are putting up schools. Because of this corruption in some offices, people want to be given money for them to let the operations of certain things to go through. It really affected us also as well, because they would come and try to ask for so many things that a school should have. And we never had this. Like, for instance, they would say, we need to look at your toilets, your latrines. There is a certain kind of latrines that they want a school to have. And then this was opposite to the kind of latrine that we have at our kids' school. But for us to operate a school again, we had to pay some money to these officers, so that the health officers, they can approve that our latrine is okay. Yes. Even the kitchen, there are some things that they have to look at. They say, now this kitchen doesn't have to look like this. A kitchen for a school has to have this structure, has to appear like this.
They just want to have some money.
Yes, because they want us to give them something. And yes, this has been happening.
Sure.
But now we are so glad that we have now operated. This is our second year to operate as a school in this place, in this Lugas, extending education to these children.
And you got a home for the children.
Yes.
Yeah, and
exactly.
I think like when I saw your video on Facebook, it says that there are 35 children, but now I was there, and I mean, for me it was more than 35. Yes. And how are they staying there? I mean, is it for rent? Is it your house? Maybe you can just explain.
Oh, okay. Now, talking about the children home, our children home is Sounds of Hope Children Center. That is in Lugazi, in Chitega village right now. We are renting this place. We haven't obtained this place as ours because we did not have the money to buy this place. This home, like buying a home in Uganda, is really, really expensive. Yes, we rented this place and we are still renting it. The number of kids that we have staying there currently is 25, but according to our agreement with the landlord, we are supposed to have 7 kids there. So we always have problems with this landlord. Why? Because the number of the kids increases every time. Well, these other children that we have tried to instill them in some other community homes around of single mothers, because this is the way that we can have all the kids in this community, because we couldn't leave other kids in Kampala. So this is what we would do. We would give a certain home an academic bursary, like one helpless child comes to attain education from our school, and then this mother would accept to house one of our children. So they house one of our children, we provide one of their kids with education. So it becomes a win-win. But sometimes, some families have come up and then they have brought back the children to us, saying, we are going through a very tough time. We are not having foodstuffs to have this child stay with us. And then you find they have brought back the child to the kids' home, and then you have nowhere to send this child. You have to stay with the kid. Some people will come and say, my husband is not anywhere positive with the stay of this kid at our home, and therefore he's demanding that I take back the kid to wherever I got this kid from. Because in most cases, when we are putting these children into some families, we are in relation with the mother. We are in relation with the mother because the mother is the person that already stays at home and is the person that knows everything, how this home runs. The mother consults from the husband in case they have them. Some have boyfriends that try to come over. They try to help them in their day-to-day lives as well. But they try to ask them in making some decisions if they can bring in a child. Because where we are staying, where we have our children home right now, it does not accommodate 35 kids. It doesn't, to be honest. Even it doesn't accommodate 25 kids. It's really way so much. But right now we just have them squeezed. But we try to find, if we find a community home that can really help us shelter some 1 or 2 kids, we really appreciate, and we have them keep these kids on our behalf. But we do still give this support to them for food, for food stuffs. Yes, we give them contribution for food. Because the kids that they are keeping are our responsibility. So right now we don't have our own home. Yes, we don't have our own home. We are renting it, and that is how it all looks like.
So now you don't have your own home, but would you show us plans for your vision? You bought a ground. You have you have water. And what are the plans now?
Yes, about this year, I want to say to you that God has been so good. We have operated for so long time. We haven't been able to purchase even a single inch of a piece of land, or for over the years that we've been in operation. But in this year, God has really been so good. I want to be so honest onto this. Because for us right now, as I'm speaking to you, we have obtained a piece of land somewhere, and we have a water fountain built on it right now. This all has not come so much early, It's really been God is God's arrangement. That's what I can say. But this piece of land is really all our land of hope, is what I can say. It's what we have been hoping for. And now with this piece of land, we have very, very, very big plans towards it. We are looking at it for the setup of the children home as well. For us to go out of the renting, we will need a home, you know. But now we wouldn't have a home when we don't have a land. But we have been able right now to obtain a certain piece of land. We have in Lugazi, we have obtained a certain piece of land now.
And it all comes through the donation.
Yes,
it's just donation money.
It's been a support that we received from our partners that are working with us from Germany, you know. This has not been so much common in the previous years that we would receive such a support to enable us obtain a piece of land. And onto this, we are so glad that the piece of land we obtained can really accommodate our house. And then it can also accommodate our children's school. We have a plan that we set up a house onto this piece of land, and we have our children out of the renting house. When we do this and have our own home, we will have our own rules about our place. So we can have as many children as we want to live with us. We will not be having these problems of being sent out of this house because we are having many kids. Because as our children home, we have been sent out of homes about 4 times in Kampala. You know, we were sent out of 4 homes.
With how many children?
They were at first I had 25 children, and they sent me out of a certain place because I told them I have 15 kids, and then when they came to do the counting, they found out it's 25. They sent me out. You know, it is very hard to get a house in Uganda when you're working with children and you disclose the actual number of the kids that you have. You tell the landlord, you know, I have 25 kids. They will not give you a house. They don't give you a house. So you have to make sure that the number is a bit less.
My goodness.
So when you make the number less, and then he comes and counts in your
But when
house.
you make him less, you still get 15 or 10, you know. In Germany, you get problems sometimes with 2 or 3, you know?
Sure. Yeah, so I made it 15 with a certain landlord. And now he came when I was away. I had gone to buy some food from a store. So he comes and takes audit of the children at his premises. And before I realized he's gone berserk, he's quarreling all the way. How can you told me you have this, you have to either take away this or you have to pay money triple. By that time that house was 300,000, but he said now I have to pay 1 million Uganda shillings. That was really so much. Really so much. I did not have this support. I was doing this work alone with the support of agricultural products. That time I had rented a very land somewhere there, like 4 acres, so I could plant maize. Maize is a local food that people use to get corn flour. Corn flour comes from maize. So we would sell this maize and get some money, and then pay off. So that time we had this garden, but it could not accommodate 1 million for rent as well as foodstuffs for the little kids. So we went out of that place. And then we went to another.
So the best thing is if you have your own home, own rules, and I mean, what do you need now? What do you need?
We need right
you now got land, you got a fountain. You also said that you're in debt by certain shops. You have to feed the children, and food is not there, so you can go in debt.
Yes, you know, it really takes so much food. Food is consumed when you're dealing with children, with little children, you know. For them to eat and at least have satisfaction on their
stomach.
On their tummy, you know. You need to give them food almost, or actually every day. You need to give them food. And before you realize it, you are out of food and you are out of money. It will really cost, it will really have, let's say, 50 kilograms of corn flour done in about 8 days. And this is really so much. Now in a month you will need about let's say five sacks of corn flour. And when you are to do this assessment just for corn flour, you need something like 150 euros. And then you will need some rice, because you need to have at least some food change for the kids. Maybe say on weekends they will do some rice. So you'll find out that you would need something like another 100 kilograms of rice, and then this would cost you something like, let's say, $100. $100 for you to obtain, for you to obtain this 100 kilograms, 100 kilograms of rice. And then this, you have to remember, this for rice we do it only on weekends, but still there are so many other feeding costs that will come in. You need to buy firewood, you need to buy charcoal, you will need to buy these other, like sometimes cooking oil for you to fry the beans. You will need to obtain sometimes vegetables for the kids to eat. And then you find out that that for you to really be able to feed these kids, you need something like over, like let's say $600
just for the food.
Just for the food
per month.
Per month, yes. You need this much just for the food for a month. And then you find that in a month you don't even have $300 for foodstuffs. So what you do, you obtain so many other things on credit, because in just 8 days 50 kilograms are done. In the next 8 days 50 kilograms are done, and then you would not have this money all the time to be buying food. So we obtain debts, we obtain foodstuffs on debts so as to facilitate the stay of the kids. Yes, and right now we have some debts at the stores where we buy food already. And then we would need really some support for us to be able to feed these kids.
Sure.
And also about the house, I would really want to say if we really can have some support, house is a very, very, very urgent need that we do have, because this is the limitation towards our stay with the kids. If we can have a house set up, and then we have a latrine for our kids that is ours, this will save us from all these problems of being sent away from houses, being given restrictions of the number of children that you are supposed to have. Because when a landlord comes and finds you have a different number of children at his houses, it is something else. It's something very, very serious. And then he will either go handle you through these local authorities. He would want to fine you. He would want to put so many charges on you. But when we have our own house, and then we will not have the problems from the landlord. That's why I really advocate, and I really pray and ask if it's really possible we can have this house built, and then we have our kids transferred to our own house at our own land. Because right now we have a land, we have a water fountain, but our water fountain is not, we haven't started using water out of it, because we don't have, because it's a little bit at a further distance from where our kids are staying now. So we cannot put up our water pump and our water tank into this place where our water fountain is, because this will be at a risk. We will be risking losing
other people
it.
Will.
Yes, other people can come, but the tank, the tank costs money. So someone can come with a group of, let's say, 20 people, and they go with the tank. This is very expensive to make it. We have incurred money to the making of this tank. We've incurred around 2 million to make this tank of 10,000 liters. It's still actually still being made. It's expensive to make it. So I don't want to risk putting it there before we set up a house or something where we are sure we have security over this thing we have constructed here. Yes. When we have the home set up and the classroom set up, then everything can move on in a proper way.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Sounds nice. Okay, now we looked at the past, the present, and now the future. You said that most of the money comes from Germany. And what do you want to say to all these people who, look into the video right now and say, oh, it's a nice project, but I don't know, it's all about money, every time donation, and maybe they still got a lack of trust or something.
Yes.
What do you want to say to these people and to all those who already sent you donations,
Yes.
and are parents to all these childs?
Oh yes, what I can say to the people that are looking at this video from Germany, we are really so grateful for you people, especially those that have been able to stand with us even before they knew us in person. Yeah. We are grateful that they are at least people that have been able to stand with us even before meeting us.
Yeah.
These have seen at least what we have been doing and what we have been going through.
Yeah.
For the people that have mistrust or lack confidence in us, I welcome you to not lend us your money now. Lend us your heart. Lend us your minds. In fact, we are having products that are going to be sold to Germany. You may not give us donation, but please come and buy a product from Africa. Come and buy a product from Uganda. This way, you will not be giving us a donation. You will be exchanging money for value. In this way, you will be taking a product at a certain cost. So it will not be free. So we just really request you to come and purchase these products. That way you will have a mind that you have bought something for money. You have exchanged the money for something of value. In the later time we shall be introducing more products from these dear women in Africa. In that way you would be supporting the woman to finance her child or to facilitate money that can buy food for a certain single mother out there. You will not be sending money directly to me, but to Nicholas or to someone you don't know, but you will be by you purchasing this product, you will be contributing directly towards the life of a certain single mother who made this product. Because this product is not made by Nicholas. This product is made by a single mother, single woman that I coordinated by Nicholas. So you will be supporting these other families. And also we just welcome you. We welcome your contribution in other many ways. You may not send us money, because money, it's not all about money. You can you can step in and try to and try to just lend us your heart. Or if you are afraid about coming to Africa, you can invite us to come. We can come to your country and just speak. We will not request money from you, but we will come and do a sensitization. We'll come and speak to a gathering of people about what is happening in Uganda. By you inviting us to come and speak in your home area, you have contributed something more than money. It's not all about money that someone can get involved. You can as well get involved in this by sharing this video. You may share just a video, you press a share, and so many people can know what's going on. Of course, this is what is going on, this is what we are doing, but you as a person that hasn't gotten onto board with us right now, you really need to first, open up your heart, open up your mind, and then think about this, not through sending us money, because our objectives are far beyond money. We don't really look at your money coming to Africa or be going into someone's pockets. There is so much more than that. Or you can as well think about speaking about what we do. You can just get involved in this by speaking about what we do with a certain group of people, outside. Without you involved, without sending money to us, you just gather around, maybe your friends, 5 or 10, You will look at our brochures, because I'm going to release brochures to the team that has come to Uganda today. I'll give them brochures. You can share the information on brochures that that you will receive, perhaps. And if you don't receive these brochures, maybe you can get involved by so many other ways. Not necessarily sending us money. You can choose to buy a product. Let's say we are in need of textbooks. You can buy textbooks for kids to study, for kids to read. This way you'll not be sending us money. But you'll be sending something that is important for this child's education. Because if you buy a textbook, you know, you have contributed so much towards education of this kid than sending money. We have a wish list. You can look at our wish list. Like right now, we have a very, very, very big need on our wish list to set up a school. You can contribute to construct only one classroom, and I assure you, you will see all the progress of this classroom being built. You will see the purchase of the materials coming. You will see all the pictures when we are doing this construction, and you will see whatever thing we have purchased. You can as well participate yourself by buying, or you can make a payment, or we can go to a certain hardware that has electronic payments, a hardware, and you pay to the hardware money enough for us to purchase cement. Let's say you buy for us 100 bags of cement, but through you paying to the hardware and not paying money to me. Yes, understand. Yes, that is also a way you can get involved without sending money to me.
Sure.
Yes,
that's good.
So that information goes to these people that have a feeling like, let's say we'll send money to this person, uses it in a way that we are not sure of. Yes, they can participate in so many other ways while not sending money. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So last question. What keeps you moving? What keeps you looking forward, you know? And why are you doing this? Not make it too long, just a few sentences, you know? Like, why are you doing this, and what keeps you moving forward?
Okay. Well, to be honest, what keeps me moving forward is nothing but the grace of God. This can never go anywhere without God's grace. Everything has happened not by my might, or not by my wisdom, or not that I am so brilliant, but I think this is God's grace that I can have this go on. I do this because I was once helped. I was once supported. My coming out to support these other helpless kids is because I was once helpless. I really know what it means to go to school and you are chased away from, and you are stopped from attaining classes because they demand money from you. Because I've been chased away from schools many times in my course of study. I've been stopped from attending classes so many times. I know what that feeling is. I know how it feels for a person that wants their children to at least attain education, but they cannot. Because I have been in that situation. I know what single mothers go through because I interact with them. I interact with the kids that are staying on streets. I know why they are at streets. They cannot even afford what to eat. I know what it means to be there without food because I've been in this life. I have lived this life in the previous. Right now, my heart is about making a world better for someone. I cannot make a world better for the whole world or for everybody, but at least I can change a world for one person. And if I can change for one person, if I only can change one person, that will make my years of life in the coming years at least content, because I participated in changing the environment around me. I will not look at a better Uganda with people that are with a generation that's growing up in a very, very, very different way of living, the different way of not attaining education. This will turn into very, very, very big threats for you who has not helped them, and for me who is trying to help them as well. Because when you come to Uganda and you find yourself you've been cheated You somewhere in the car as you're driving to a hotel, thugs stop by your car and they rob you of everything, and they even rob you of your passport. They are bringing danger to you who don't contribute to their well-being, and they bring danger to even me, because I will live in an environment where I'm being terrorized. But also you, if you come to do a tour in Uganda, let's say, you will be terrorized by the very people. So when we extend these education services to these people, when they are young, we inculcate values of Christianity into these people. So by the time you come to Uganda, you find a better place for you to stay. So when we can do this, when each of us can at least help one, we can have, I must say, we can have at least an impact onto the next generation. Because this is only something I think I can go to my graves with. Only the good deeds that I have done for these little kids. The good deeds that I have done for someone.
Yeah.
This is the only thing I can get out of this world. There is nothing else. Because when I look at my life, I know someday I will pass away. I'm not going to be here forever. But now, of what importance is it for me to accumulate money, or to steal, or to cheat your money, and then I just spend it anyhow, or recklessly, or spend it on things to make my heart happy, but when I am not helping someone that would at least speak something positive about my existence. Because I'm trying to do a legacy in someone's life, and also my life as well. And you also trying to help me do this, you are creating an impact in someone's life. Because these kids know this is my godparent. It's you creating an impact in this kid's life. You know, there are some fingerprints that we use to touch people's hearts that can never be erased. And this is one of the fingerprints that I know that my hands have touched some people that will never go away out of their lives forever. So I do this because someone touched my life with an invisible fingerprint. And right now, I am so grateful. I'm so indebted to this person that supported me to achieve education. And so I feel my support to these kids and your support to these kids will create a same or a similar impact into their lives. These are fingerprints that can never be erased. This is a journey of life that you are helping someone to move. You are altering the directions of someone's footsteps into some other world by you contributing towards their education. You actually help so much to change their way of living from some different world into another world. And this is how we can change the world. Simply by changing one person at a moment. This is what I'm trying to do.
Wow. Respect, man. You are a hero for me.
Thank you, Matthias. I really don't know if I've really spoken a lot. But this is what I feel.
That's okay.
This is what I feel.
Thank God that you
I really don't know if it has taken so much time than we anticipated. No, because we had some time that we had planned.
It's alright.
Is it fine?
It's alright,
Okay.
I think
I hope it can make some sense.
For real. Thank God that you're here, man. Thank God.
Okay, glory to God. You know, this is what I feel. This is what is on my heart. I cannot change the world as a person. But I can change the world for one person. Because someone changed my world. My world was at the streets, you know.
I believe that.
But now my world is somewhere else. Now I stand with gospel preachers. But maybe right now I would be a person of the bar. I would be a person of a club. But I'm not in that life now. Someone changed my direction.
You just need
just
one
by
moment.
taking me to school. I'm now someone else very different from what I would be right now. I would be somewhere very bad. Maybe I would have died, you know. But I'm still living. I would have got engaged in, because I have many friends that I was with at streets that have been imprisoned. Some have been imprisoned for life. They were caught with guns, stealing. With guns. Maybe I would be living that life because I was with some of those people in the streets. I went to a certain prison to do evangelism, to do gospel, preaching to the prisoners. And I found people that I was with, very, very young boys. I felt very, very sad. Actually, this program for these helpless kids also covers kids of the incarcerated. Because the children of these people that are in prison, for them, they don't have anything to do with their being in prison, with their parents being in prison. They don't know. But the community turns against them. Do you know, if someone is found a robber in Uganda and they try to imprison that person, this whole family members would be attached to this social evil. They'll be seen as kids to a robber. And that alone is enough to create a very, very, very big head about this kid and about this whole family. They will not have any peace anywhere. They will not even attain education because their parents have been incarcerated for doing crimes. And these kids were not responsible for their parents' crimes, For them, they were produced and they assume the parents have the responsibility over their lives. The parents commit their social evils and they get them into prison. And then the whole thing goes back to the whole family. The family suffers the circumstances of the father who has been incarcerated in prison. But to me, this wouldn't be the trend, These kids are not responsible anyway. Actually, these kids come to learn about stealing when their parents have been incarcerated and they don't have something to eat. But they were not born thieves, They were not born stealers.
Nobody was born like that.
I really feel bad. I feel bad.
So it's so good that you're doing it, man.
I feel bad.
It's alright, thank you.
That you are helping someone to move. You are altering the directions of someone's footsteps into some other world.